Okay.
Good morning. My name is Nathaniel. I work for the United States Forest Service. I'm the trail supervisor for the Columbia River Gorge National Scenic Area. Here we are on the Horsetail Falls Trail. What happened is in 2017 we had an approximate 20,000 acre forest fire. A lot of the gorge is constructed of steep Columbia River basalt cliffs and steep talus slopes intervening. A lot of the talus slopes are held together by moss and trailing blackberry, thin net that really stitches this steep angle of repose together. Once the fire swept through, that net burned off. Once the rains came, this talus slide got pretty slippery and couldn't sustain itself anymore. We're in a spot where a trail crew member was raking rocks off the original trail, which was constructed by the Civilian Conservation Corps. And one rock hit another and created a rock slide that went about 200 feet downslope, across the historic Columbia River Highway and onto the railroad tracks way down there. Thousands of cubic yards of material just washed out. So at this point, the trail is completely gone. And due to the nature of the geology and the pretty active dynamic slide that's still going on, we're gonna have to reroute the whole trail because the slide is still eating away headward up towards the base of those cliffs. We could put a bridge in, but that would be too expensive, and it probably wouldn't hold up either because, again, all of this material that I'm standing on, that's behind me, is gonna slide down towards the river. That tree behind me, the roots you can see, actually the trail crew member who started the slide, that tree was still standing and she took refuge behind it. It has since fallen over in the intervening years. It's just a really dynamic section. Been working here for a couple months. There's rocks always plummeting from above. As you can see, a lot of the trees are dead. Most of these big leaf maples are dead. They're falling over too, although they are regenerating, which is a good sign. A lot of the bigger Doug firs survived, which is also nice because they kind of help stitch together the soil a little bit. And once they fall, they tear up a bunch of the slope, tear up our trails. So we've had trees fall from above and come torpedoing down 1,000 feet, just absolutely a swath of destruction. So what we're going to do is we started a reroute. We want to get to the base of the cliffs. Oftentimes there's a natural platform at the base of the cliffs, and eventually, sure enough, this slide will eat up towards that base, but by that point, hopefully a lot of the energy is dissipated and there won't be as much material to cave away. Hi, one thing I'd like to say about the Eagle Creek fire is that I think for a lot of us living in Western Oregon, especially west of the Cascades, it was a pretty traumatic event. We're not accustomed to huge 10,000 acre forest fires, the smoke. We're not used to seeing our green, lush forests turned into essentially apocalyptic landscapes of ash and char. As you can see behind me, these big leaf maples are just completely toasted and torched. But that being said, it's been really heartening to see, one, the regeneration of, as you can see, the big leaf maples, and two, thimbleberry coming back, the poison oak spreading like wildfire itself. And that's a heartening thing to see, the re-greening of these lands in a remarkably short amount of time. But it's also really nice for me to think of the wildfire as just another chain of a long another link in the chain of very dynamic ecosystem. We had the Columbia River basalts flowing through, creating these cliffs. We had the uprising of the Cascades. We had the Missoula floods ripping through, constant erosion and down cutting of these incised streams. And sure enough, if you look at the fire ecology, every once in a while these east winds blow through and we get massive wildfires even on the west side of the Cascades. So it's just another part of being in this very dynamic living environment. So one thing that happens is in a lot of these areas we've had 99% tree mortality. All the trees are dead, but they're still standing. So in years to come, these trees are going to fall over. And two things happen when that happens. One, they fall across our trail. As you can see, this tree right in front of us just did. When that happens, it's a fairly easy process of grabbing your chainsaw, or in the wilderness, crosscut saws and axes, coming through, cutting through the tree, obviously this is a very small little tree, and sending it on its way down the trail. That's the easy part. The hard part is when a tree like this Doug fir, although this particular one is still alive, once a tree on the outside of the trail falls over, its gigantic root wad rips up and it'll take most of this trail with it and leave just a gaping crater in the trail. And that's significantly harder to deal with. We'll then have to come in, maybe cut up the tree and use that as a log crib. Maybe if there's rocks around, we can fill the hole with rocks as a retaining wall. We have to find some way of filling the hole and then rebuilding the tread through it. And that is going to be a significant problem in years to come. I think traditionally 5 to 6 years after the fire, most of the trees' roots have rotted and they start coming down. So within a couple of years, we're going to have thousands, tens of thousands of trees coming down in the burn area, and we'll have our work cut out for us.